The Legend of the Grunion Invasion. The morning sun hung low over the hills of Beverly, but inside the great stone mansion of the Clampett family, the air was thick with the scent of a brewing battle. Granny was pacing the floor, her face set in a mask of grim determination as she tightened the strings of her apron like a soldier cinching a combat belt. Beside her stood Jethro, whose large frame seemed even more imposing as he puffed out his chest, ready to face the unknown enemy. Jed Clampett watched them with a calm but curious eye. He had seen many things in his time, but the frantic energy coming from his kinfolk this morning was something new. Granny turned to him, her eyes flashing with a fire that usually only appeared when the victuals were burning or when someone insulted her cooking. "I am ready, Jed," Granny declared, her voice cracking with the weight of her resolve. "I am ready for the fight." Jed tilted his head, his thumb hooked in his suspenders. "He's going down to the beach to help fight off the Grunions," Ellie Mae added, stepping into the room with her golden hair flowing behind her. "Who is the Grunions?" Granny demanded, her hands on her hips. "I do not know," Ellie Mae admitted, her brow furrowed in thought. "But Mr. Drysdale says he is coming in from the ocean tonight to invade California." "Ready, Granny," Jethro announced again, his voice booming through the foyer. Granny looked him up and down, her eyes landing on the small wooden object in his hand. "Where is your weapon?" she snapped. "Right here," Jethro said, proudly hoisting a slingshot. Granny let out a sound that was half laugh and half snort. "You cannot bring down no enemy with a slingshot," she told him firmly. "I can, sir," Jethro insisted, though he was talking to his grandmother. "You cannot either," Granny shot back. "I can," Jethro countered. "You cannot," Granny said, her voice rising. "Can," Jethro said. "Can," Granny mimicked. "Can," Jethro repeated. "Can," Granny shouted. Jed stepped between them, raising his hands to still the brewing storm. "Oh, whoa, wait a minute," he said softly but firmly. "Now stop that. We cannot have no bickering amongst ourselves. We have got to fight together against the Grunions." "Who is the Grunions, pal?" Jethro asked, turning his confusion toward his uncle. "Them is the folks that is fixing to invade California," Jed explained, recalling the conversation with their neighbor. "Mr. Drysdale showed us the newspaper headline. It said, 'Grunion coming tonight. Huge invasion predicted.' He was all dressed up in his uniform, toting the gun, ready to fight. It must be a desperate situation when an old-timer like Mr. Drysdale has to fight." The scheme of Milburn Drysdale. While the Clampetts were preparing for war, Milburn Drysdale was reclining in his plush office at the Commerce Bank, a look of immense self-satisfaction on his face. He turned to his secretary, Miss Thompson, with a theatrical flourish. "There. I gave a brilliant performance, Miss Thompson," he gloated. "I convinced the Clampetts that a state of emergency exists, a military crisis. We are being invaded by Grunion." Miss Thompson looked at him with a mixture of disbelief and pity. "Do they not know that Grunion are fish?" she asked. "Of course not," Drysdale chuckled. "Now, if Mark Templeton dares quit the Navy, they will brand him a coward and never speak to him again." "Why do you not want him to quit the Navy?" Miss Thompson inquired, adjusted her glasses. "Because the moment he gets out, he plans to spend $48 million of Jed Clampett's money on oceanography research," Drysdale barked, his face turning a shade of red that matched his necktie. "But that is such a marvelous cause," Miss Thompson noted. "Anything that takes $48 million out of my bank is no marvelous cause," Drysdale countered. "Now, that is the kind of talk that got Miss Hathaway fired, so watch it." Miss Hathaway resigned. Miss Thompson corrected him gently. "Well, it can get you fired," Drysdale threatened. Miss Thompson stood her ground, her expression cool. "I am not afraid of you, Mr. Drysdale. One word from me to Mr. Clampett, and your goose is cooked." Drysdale blinked, a slow smile spreading across his face. "That is blackmail. You know, you have a very unscrupulous side to you, and I like that. We could work very well together. Now, hide this newspaper." The plan was in motion. The Clampetts believed the Grunions were a fierce, warlike people from the distant island of Grun, and they were not about to let California fall without a fight. Mobilizing the troops. Back at the mansion, the preparations had reached a fever pitch. Jethro, you load up the truck and fetch it around front, Jed commanded. Yes, sir, Jethro replied, sprinting toward the garage. Jed turned to his daughter. Here, boy, he said, handing a flag to Ellie Mae. Place this up front. It will inspire the California folks to see their colors flying. Really? Ellie Mae asked, looking at the fabric. I am not just sure that that is the official state flag. Jed nodded with conviction. Jed, this is Southern California. Right you are. Granny emerged from the kitchen, her arms laden with supplies. And do not forget to load up the victuals I got ready in the kitchen, she barked. Yes, ma'am, Jethro shouted from the driveway. Ellie, you ride shotgun on them victuals, Jed told his daughter. They will never get to the truck if Jethro is left alone with them. Yes, sir, Ellie Mae said. And you and Jethro put my big cooking kettle in the truck, too, Granny added. If this is a long siege, we might have to live off the land like Mosby's raiders. Could be, Jed agreed, squinting toward the horizon. Look, Jed. Who is that coming? Strange-looking contraption they are driving. Maybe it is a grunion. Maybe they have done landed. We will soon find out, Jed said, his hand moving toward the pocket where he kept his spectacles. A small, open-wheeled vehicle bounced up the driveway, kicking up dust. The driver waved a hand. Gee, Johnny, Mr. Clampett, a voice called out. It is Miss Jane, Jed realized, his posture relaxing. Howdy, Miss Jane, Granny called out. What happened to your pretty red car? It is in the garage, Jane Hathaway replied, stepping out of the strange vehicle. Mr. Drysdale had it repossessed. Oh, that ought to put it in A1 shape, Jed said, ever the optimist. What kind of a car is that? It is a dune buggy, Granny, Jane explained. It is made especially to drive through soft sand. You going to the desert? Granny asked. No, the beach, Jane said. And you heard the grunion is coming, Jed noted. Yes, that is one of the reasons I am going, Jane replied with a cryptic smile. And you're going all by yourself? Granny asked, her protective instincts kicking in. Yes, Jane said. Are you not scared? Certainly not, Jane laughed. Thousands of Southern Californians will be flocking to the beaches tonight in pursuit of the elusive grunion. Well, good for them, Jed said, nodding. We's going too. The young ones are loading up the truck right now. It is a good idea to stake out an area early, Jane advised. By sundown, the beaches will be dotted with campfires. Would you like to come with us, Miss Jane? Jed offered. Might not be safe for a woman alone. Thank you, Mr. Clampett, but I have taken a little place at Malibu, Jane said. You are welcome to make it your headquarters. Fine and dandy, Jed said. Together we will learn them grunions a lesson they will never forget. Bravo. See you at the beach, Jane called out, climbing back into her buggy. Oh, Miss Jane, how will we know your place? Granny asked. It is a little gray shack that stands all alone at the south end of Malibu, Jane shouted over the engine. This dune buggy will be parked on the lee side. Bye. See you there. Jed watched her drive away. There goes a spunky little woman. I wonder what part of Dixie she comes from. How do you know she is from Dixie? Granny asked. She is spunky, Jed reasoned. She is defending the south end of Malibu. Her headquarters is Confederate Gray. And she is parking her car on the Robert E. Lee side. If that does not spell Dixie, there's no cotton in Carolina. The arrival at Malibu. The Clampett truck, loaded with kettles, blankets, and enough food to feed a small regiment, rattled down the coast. Jethro was at the wheel, his eyes scanning the shoreline for any sign of the invading fleet. I think we is in Malibu, Jethro announced as they slowed down. North Malibu or South Malibu? Granny asked, peering out from under her sunbonnet. I do not know, Jethro admitted. Well, which direction is we going? Jed asked. I do not know that either, Jethro said. Jethro, you do not know nothing, Granny sighed. I do so, Jethro protested. You do not neither, Granny said. I do, Jethro insisted. Don't, Granny snapped. Do, Jethro countered. Hold on, Jed intervened. Do not you two start again. We is here to fight grunions, not amongst ourselves. Well, I do not see nobody toting guns, Jethro observed, looking at the peaceful beach. Me neither, Jed agreed. It must be North Malibu. Then Yankees is going to surrender, without a fight. Hey, how about we stop and eat? Jethro suggested, his stomach letting out a low growl. No, first I think we ought to pick out the stretch of beach that we is going to defend and dig in, Jed decided. How about right here? Jethro asked. I am not defending the Yankee end of Malibu, Granny declared. I do not think it would be many Grunion come here anyway. There is too many people. They would probably pick out a lonely stretch of beach for their invasion. Them is wise words, Jethro, Jed said. We got us a good leader. And a hungry driver, Jethro added. Looks like there is a lonely stretch of beach up ahead there, Pop, Ellie Mae pointed out. Yeah, let's stop there and unload, Jed said. Do not you think we ought to try and find Miss Jane's Confederate headquarters first? Granny asked. Be hard to see from the road, Granny, Jed replied. We will scout along the beach after we dig in. The truck pulled onto the sand, and the family sprang into action. Jethro and Ellie Mae began digging a trench, while Granny started organizing the kitchen supplies. Running is real good from here, Jethro said, wiping sweat from his brow. Can we eat now? Wait a minute, Jed said, planting the flag firmly in the sand. Until our flag is up. They do not know they are in for a fight. Can we eat now? Fightin' makes me hungry, Jethro pleaded. We have not done no fighting, Granny reminded him. Just digging. Well, digging makes me hungry, too, Jethro said. First we gotta do some scouting, Jed commanded. Scouting really makes me hungry, Jethro moaned. Everything makes you hungry, Granny said, shaking her head. I think eating makes him hungry. Hey, let's try it and see, Jethro suggested hopefully. Jed looked out over the ocean through his telescope. Looks like we are in for a real battle. Is they coming? Granny asked, reaching for her ladle. No, I mean keeping Jethro out of the victuals, Jed joked. Oh, want me to throw him down and set on him, Pop? Ellie Mae asked, stepping toward her cousin. You and who else? Jethro challenged. There is no one, Jed said, cutting off the conflict. That will do. Now, first we are going to split up and look for Miss Jane's shack. Granny, you and Jethro go that-a-way. Ellie and me will go this-a-way. Let's go, Granny. Put down the victuals, Granny ordered Jethro. They will not be safe. Put them down, boy, Jed added. Now, they are safe. We is off. Now, if anybody sees any Grunions coming, give the old Indian danger call. We all scoot back to the fort. Right? Ellie Mae said. Have you got that, Jethro? Got what? Jethro asked. What would you do if you heard a wild turkey call? Ellie Mae asked. I would shoot him and eat him. Jethro replied instantly. Come on, super stomach. Let's go. Granny sighed, leading him away. Should we go, Pop? Ellie Mae asked. Just a minute, Ellie, Jed said, bringing the telescope back to his eye. I want to take another look through the glass, see if I can spot any Grunions coming. Oh. I think I see one. What's he doing, Pop? He is just laying out their doggo in the water, huddling himself around on a little flatboat, Jed described. Take a look. Ellie Mae peered through the lens. I do not see him. Keep looking, Jed coached. Sometimes he kind of hides behind a wave. Oh, I see him now, Ellie Mae said. He does not appear to be toting no gun. I figure he is a scout, Ellie, Jed reasoned. He is just laying out there spying on us. Sure is not wearing much clothes. Yeah, Ellie Mae agreed. Poor little Grunions probably half froze. What do you reckon we ought to do? One I should swim out there and yank him in? No. Ellie, Jed said. We let them make the first move. We just kind of check on him from time to time. The truth about the enemy. As Jed and Ellie Mae watched the horizon, Jane Hathaway appeared from around a sand dune. Ellie Mae, Mr. Clampett. Oh, I am glad I found you. Howdy, Miss Jane, Jed greeted her. Grunion Jethro just took off down that-a-way to look for your shed. What a shame, Jane said. It is this-a-way. Yeah, a little exercise will not hurt him, Jed noted. Jane looked at the trench they had dug. What a clever idea. You have built a revetment for protection. Yes, ma'am, Jed said. Sometimes the wind becomes quite brisk and cold. This will shield your fire. Oh, yes, ma'am, Ellie Mae added. We aimed fire at the Grunion through these slots here. Oh no, Mr. Clampett, Jane corrected him. You do not shoot Grunion. You do not? Jed asked, surprised. No, you capture them by hand, Jane explained. Is that a fact? Jed asked. Yes, they are quite small and completely defenseless, Jane said. Do not they put up no fight? Ellie Mae asked, sounding a bit disappointed. They struggle at first when you grab them, but they are really not hard to handle, Jane assured them. And they just let you capture them? Jed asked. Thousands of them are taken every time they come in, Jane said. Oh, they have been in here before, huh? Jed asked. Oh, yes, for years and years, Jane replied. Do not they never learn? Jed wondered. Oh, some of them manage to escape back to the ocean, but most of them are just stranded on the beach, Jane explained. And they just keep coming back? Ellie Mae asked. Practically every full moon, Jane said. You know, it sounds to me like Grunion is not too smart, Jed remarked. Well, they are not, Jane admitted. They are purely creatures of instinct with a tiny little brain. Kind of wonder whether it was worthwhile coming down here, Jed said, scratching his head. Oh, you will enjoy it, Jane promised. Grunion hunting is considered a great sport. What do you do with them after you catch them? Ellie Mae asked. Many people take them home, Jane said. Is that a fact? Jed asked. Well, they make a delicious dinner. Oh, they cook good, do they not? Ellie Mae asked. Well, they fry especially well, Jane said. Of course, it takes at least a dozen of them to make a meal. That is not taking it home, Pop, Ellie Mae whispered. It is a matter of personal taste. Well, I must be dashing back, Jane said. My place is just over that point yonder. Come see me as quick as Granny and Jethro get back. Well, tally-ho. Happy hunting, Jane called out as she departed. Bye, Miss Jane, Jed and Ellie Mae called in unison. Well, Ellie, I am afraid we is not in for much of a scrap, Jed said, feeling a bit let down. Sure sounds that way, Ellie Mae agreed. Is that Grunion still out there, Pop? Yep, there he is, Jed said, looking back through the telescope. Hey, he is as poor as boat builders. That thing has not got no sides, and it looks slick as glass. Now, the darn fool is trying to stand up on it. Let me see, Pop, Ellie Mae said. Too late. He just fell off, Jed reported. Them Grunions must be dumb as Jethro. Ellie, if Jethro was to take his brain to the Isle of Grun, they would make him king. Come on, let's go find some firewood. The captive Grunion. Hours passed, and the sun began to dip below the waves. Granny and Jethro returned from their long walk, looking weary. We must have walked clean to Mexico and back, Granny complained. We never did find Miss Jane's shack. Well, it just happens that it is that-a-way around that point yonder, Jed told them. Well, let's go see her, Granny suggested. Oh no, not me, Jethro protested. I am not taking another step on an empty stomach. Either feed me or shoot me. Well, the victuals would set good with everybody right now, Jed agreed. I will get busy, Granny said, heading for the stove. Pop and me saw a Grunion, Ellie Mae announced proudly. You did? Granny asked. Yes, ma'am, Ellie Mae said. He is right out there in the water. Point him out to me, Ellie, and I will fall down on the rascal, Jethro said, suddenly energized. Now hold it, Granny, Jed cautioned. Miss Jane says that you do not shoot Grunions. You do not? Granny asked. Oh, you have to hand fight them, Ellie Mae explained. You are greening me, Granny said suspiciously. No, that's right, Granny, Jed said. They's puny little rascals, and they do not tote guns. So when they comes up on the beach, you just grab them. What do you do with them? Granny asked. Well, some folks takes them home and makes servants out of them, Jed said, misinterpreting Jane's words. No, Granny gasped. Yes, ma'am, Jed continued. Miss Jane says they cooks real good. Of course, they is not in your class, Granny. You can cook up victuals all by yourself, but it takes 12 of them to make a meal. I would not want them around the house, Granny decided. Yeah, it would kind of crowd the kitchen and it would spatter things up. It might, Jed added. Mostly fries things. Granny, you ought to see their boats. They is nothing but slippery boards. And they do not ride them none too good, neither. Sounds like them Grunions is not got much going for them, Granny noted. Is we going to eat, or is we going to rap? Jethro asked impatiently. We's going to eat, boy, Granny said. Ellie, light the fire. Yes, ma'am, Granny, Ellie Mae said. Suddenly, Jed pointed toward the water. Hold everything. The invasion is commencing. Sure enough, Pop? Ellie Mae asked. Here comes them Grunions riding their little boat, Jed said. Let me see, Jed, Granny asked, taking her turn with the telescope. They must have claws on their feet. They is riding, stirring it up. Let me see, Granny, Jethro said, snatching the glass. They sure are boats, Pop. Some of them is coming in piggyback. Jethro reached for a piece of food. You want this, Jethro? Granny asked, holding up a wooden spoon. Can I eat it? Jethro asked. Of course not, Granny said. Then I do not want it, Jethro pouted. I reckon one of us ought to run down to the beach and warn Miss Jane the Grunions is coming, Jed decided. I will go, Pop, Ellie Mae volunteered. Is it safe? Jed asked. When it comes to hand-to-hand fighting, I will put Ellie up against anything the island of Grun can throw at us, Jed said with pride. I will hurry back, Ellie Mae shouted, running toward the surf. Jethro, are you going to sit there and let your girl cousin do all the fighting? Granny scolded. I am going to sit here until I eat something, Jethro stated firmly. Oh, all right, Granny sighed. Here. You can gnaw on this ham hock while I am fixing the stew. Jethro took the bone and began to chew. I gave Jethro a ham hock to gnaw on while he goes, bone and all, Granny told Jed. Watch out for splinters, Jed warned. Down by the water, Ellie Mae approached a young man who had just washed ashore with a surfboard. Did I not see you out in the water riding that little boat? She asked. Yeah, the young man replied, shaking water from his hair. Are you a Grunion? Ellie Mae asked. A Grunion? He repeated, confused. From the island of Grun, Ellie Mae added. No, the man said, laughing. Oh, yes, you are, Ellie Mae insisted. Drop that boat and defend yourself. Look, I do not know what kind of a trip you are on, but the man started to say. Now let's have the truth. Ellie Mae interrupted. Are you a Grunion? No, he said firmly. Yes, you are, Ellie Mae said. Confess now. I am not a Grunion, he insisted. This is your last chance, Ellie Mae said, raising her fists. Are you a Grunion? The young man looked at her determined face and decided it was easier to agree. If you say I am a Grunion, I am a Grunion. Did you paddle over here from the island of Grun? Ellie Mae asked. Anything you say, he replied. You surrender? Unconditionally, he said, raising his hands. Okay. Ellie Mae smiled. You are my prisoner. The feast of victory. Back at the camp, Jed was still watching the waves. I declare them Grunion has got to be the poorest sailors I have ever put to sea. He is falling off them little boats right and left. Where, Jed? Granny asked. You cannot see him without the telescope, Jed said. Why, they is riding real good. Whoops. Whoops. Ellie Mae returned, leading the young man by the arm. What is it, Ellie? Jed asked. This here is a genuine Grunion from the island of Grun, Ellie Mae announced. Well, doggy, Jed exclaimed. Looky here, Jethro. Ellie Mae done caught the first Grunion. What do you say to that? Hey, can I have another ham hock? Jethro asked, ignoring the prisoner. No, you cannot, Granny snapped. Now, you get up. You is not getting another bite to eat until you go catch yourself a Grunion. Now get. Jethro sighed and stood up. Oh, he said, looking at the young man. So, you is a Grunion, huh? Say something in Grun. He talks American, Granny, Ellie Mae explained. I figure that island must be close by, if they can get here on them little boats. Scrawny little thing, Granny observed, looking at the surfer. I am starved, the young man admitted. Cold, too. Here, Jed said, handing him a blanket. This will keep you warm. Are you hungry? Yeah, man, the surfer said. No, 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 Ellie Mae corrected him. She is a girl. This is a man. Understand? Yeah, man, the surfer repeated, using the slang of the time. No, no, I am not a man neither, Ellie Mae said, confused. He does not know a woman when he sees one, Granny noted. Maybe they do not have no women on the island of Grun. That could explain why so many fellows leaves there and comes here. Well, sit down, little fellow, and I will give you something to eat. Excuse me, ma'am, Jethro said, approaching a young woman who was walking along the beach with a surfboard. Is you a grunion? A grunion? The girl asked, giggling. Please, just answer yes or no, Jethro pleaded. I am too hungry to beat around the bush. I am hungry myself, but... The girl started. If you is a grunion from the island of Grun, we can go over yonder where Granny is fixing us a mess of victuals and have us the greatest supper you ever had in your whole life, Jethro promised. Like what? She asked, her interest piqued. Like ham hocks and chicken and gravy and beef stew and hot cornbread, Jethro listed. You name it, we got it. Oh, you are turning me on, the girl said with a smile. Does that mean you are a grunion? Jethro asked. From the island of Grun, she laughed. Let's eat. Jethro led her back to the fire. How you doing, little grunion? Granny asked the first prisoner. This chicken is wild, the surfer said, mouthful of food. No, it's just your regular backyard chicken, Granny clarified. Would you like some gravy? Groovy, the surfer said. On the island of Grun, they call gravy groovy, Granny observed. Sure would like to get a look at that island. Oh, here comes Jethro, and he is not empty-handed, Jed said. What you got there, boy? Granny, this here is a girl grunion, Jethro announced. Well, there goes the reason for the fellows leaving, Granny said with a wink. You want something to eat, girl grunion? Groovy, the girl said, sitting down. He loves that stuff, Granny said, gesturing to the first surfer. I could use some chicken and groovy myself, Jethro said, reaching for a plate. Well, sit down, everybody. We will all eat, Jed said, his face beaming with the joy of a shared meal. Hi there, the girl surfer said to the boy surfer. I am a girl grunion. What are you? I am a boy grunion, he replied, grinning. They cannot even tell each other apart, Granny whispered to Jed. He is pitiful. Just pitiful. Pitiful, Jed agreed. Darn right pitiful. But as the fire crackled and the sound of the ocean waves provided a soothing backdrop, the tension of the invasion melted away. The Clampets had not found a war, but they had found new friends. Hospitality, Jed said, looking at the gathered group. Hillbilly, that is. Set a spell. Take your shoes off. Don't come back now, dear.